Welcome back to the SMT YouTube channel. We've got the Verizon earnings for you guys here today, quickly dropped, and I want to make this video. I got a full-length breakdown that'll happen later on today, and then of course we'll do a live stream. But let's go ahead and get through some of the main points. And actually, so this is from the Global Newswire, but I want to pull up the Verizon one because it's got all the details that we need, and I think you guys appreciate those. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so they dropped the headline, reiterates full year financial guidance. That's all they did. Okay, and I'm gonna explain why they only did this. All right, it says here, grew wireless service revenues. Over 18% of the consumer postpaid phone customers have a converged offering. That's not good. All right, compared to the competitors, it's not good. That's something that I think the new CEO is going to want to attack. All right, here's some stuff from the quarter. Earnings per share, I think they beat EPS. Total revenues up 1.5% year over year. Cash flows are up. I think free cash flow is now, after the 9 months, is at 15.8 billion. That was 14.5 a year ago, right? So you see an improvement there, which is good. Service revenues are up 2.1%. Wireless equipment revenues are up 5.2%. A lot of that stuff is up. All right, now, home internet, 306 broadband net additions. That's a good number. The way they did this was fixed wireless. The 5G home internet added 261,000. And they now have 5.4 million customers on that service. And then something I haven't seen in a long time, plus 61,000 FiOS. I don't know if that number has been above 60,000 for a long time. So I think that's the best in a while, 61,000 FiOS. So I think they're expanding a little bit. They've been building that to more locations and getting a deeper reach, which is good. So I mean, the fiber customer is the best customer. You get a good rate and you get the best service. That's a win. 13.2 million broadband customers now for Verizon. That's an 11% increase year over year. That's really good stuff there. Been a strength for Verizon home broadband. Now the wireless side is a little different. Consumer revenue was 26.1 billion. That's an increase of 2.9. Consumer wireless service revenues, that's up 2.4%. Postpaid phone churn, all right, for phones, 0.91%. So if you remember correctly, that would mean T-Mobile finished best in industry, and then Verizon finished number 2, and I think AT&T finished 3rd, because I think they came in at 0.92, if I remember correctly. So T-Mobile first, Verizon second, and then AT&T third. If I maybe missed, reversed Verizon, AT&T, I'll have to go back and look at my notes. They're now really liking to talk about ARPA. That's new in the last couple of years. That is an increase of 2.0% year over year. That's good. Customers spending more money with them. And then we have the postpaid phone nets. We have losses, people. We have 7,000 wireless retail postpaid phone net losses. This, a stark contrast from the 18,000 net adds, positive side, from a year ago quarter. They really are having a hard time in postpaid phone. They really are. That's to be negative in a third quarter with an iPhone launch. That's tough. That is tough. Let's see here. Prepaid, they added 47,000. All right, so not only did they stabilize and have huge growth the last few quarters, they're still net positive there, so things are still looking good there. Verizon Business, it says here they had net additions of 110,000 total, 51 being phones. Okay, so that accelerates slightly compared to last quarter. We were a little concerned about that. It looks like that's not really a falling from grace or anything. The business postpaid churn looks about the same as what it's typically been. And then they're guiding pretty much the same across the board. Free cash flows from operations, they're still guiding 37 to 39 billion. Or cash flows from operations. Free cash flow, they're still guiding 19.5 to 20.5 billion. EPS still guiding 1 to 3%. And EBITDA still guiding 2.5 to 3.5. And the service revenues still guiding between 2 and 3%. I don't see anything here that has changed. This is maybe you could say the postpaid phone net ads being negative. That's crazy. They just can't grow there. But I want to say this: you got a new CEO. A lot of us were kind of speculating the timing was really bad, and there could be something to that. Now you got the CEO, Dan Schulman. I want to say this, guys. All those numbers were basically the same as what they've been. Everybody was panicking about churn spikes and all this other stuff. Okay, so all that was hyperbole. All right, nothing out of the ordinary at Verizon. But here's what I think is happening. I do believe that certain things are going to happen under the new CEO. And, you know, that, just to be honest with you guys, I made the video about heads rolling at Verizon. I don't think Hans wanted to fire people. I think Hans abruptly walked away because I think a lot of things are going to change internally at Verizon that are going to make it look like a different company. For the last several years, Hans Vestberg, the CEO at Verizon, has been the nicest CEO. He's kept people working. He hasn't laid people off much. He's done it the least. AT&T, it's a totally different story. He's got people fighting in parking lots, taking the stairs because the elevator's broken, sitting in the aisles, working on the ground, sitting on the carpet, suction cup desks. T-Mobile's been reducing headcount for a year since the merger. Verizon has really been the only company that's really held on to take care of their people. They've had minimal layoffs. I think all that's about to change. There's just not enough growth in the industry and at the company. That's the next thing that's probably going to happen. It's unfortunate, but it's just part of the game. But clearly, things at Verizon aren't on fire, as I think some would have predicted. And I was questioning the abrupt nature of the exit, but now I think we understand why. I think that's the case. I don't think Hans wanted to lay people off. I don't think Hans wanted to be the one to deliver the death blows from the board, right? He didn't want to be a part of that. He, I think, built positive equity. People can say whatever they want about Hans, but I do think he was actually a legitimate good person, wanted to do right by his employees. He held off as long as he could, and I think a lot of that's going to change at VZ. Anyways, let me know what you think of the earnings and how this all played out. We got a earnings call, I think, at 8 or 8:30, and I'll listen to it and I'll get you guys the highlights and any of the question and answer stuff that we hear from the new CEO. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Check out some more videos. See you guys soon on the next one.